Maingaining is not optimal for the majority of people. There's a lot of debate on this topic of whether you should be doing a heavy bulk, as in more than 1,000 calories above your maintenance, maybe even more, or should you be doing a smaller bulk, what we call maingaining, so maybe a 200 to 300 calorie bulk. The thought behind maingaining is that you're going to gain an unnecessary amount of fat when you bulk, when you do a big bulk, and when it's time for a cut, it's going to be way harder for you to peel off that extra layer of fat that you've attained from this heavy bulk. One of the main proponents of this school of thought is Greg Doucette. I personally think that a heavier bulk is optimal for most people. It's empirically observed that most people respond well to a bigger bulk, including me. I've definitely noticed that once I've started this bigger bulk, that I've gained a lot of muscle. I'm still very early in my bulking stage, and I can tell you for a fact that it has definitely been working. Other people around me have also started to notice how rapidly I've gained muscle in a short amount of time. I intend to stay on this bulk for quite a long time, mainly because I am still a teenager and calorie restriction at this age is just horrible for optimal development. When we talk about macros, protein, calories, carbs, fats, we're usually thinking about them through the building block model. Essentially, we think that our body utilizes these proteins, macros, carbs, fats as building blocks. And while this is true, what we fail to recognize is that food and the components of food are also messengers to our body to activate certain pathways. For example, increasing your calories and protein intake will result in increased signaling from IGF-1 and other growth factors. In other words, the more protein and the more calories you consume, the more your body will secrete hormones that cause you to grow. It will essentially place your body in the optimal state for growth. But to what extent do these growth factors stop increasing? Where specifically is the calorie cap where these growth factors stop increasing? We don't know. But this is a very important part of the conversation that no one's talking about. Think about a 200 calorie bulk. I personally wouldn't even consider that a bulk. 200 calories, that's literally less than a protein bar. I can literally eat that in like 5 bites. It's literally nothing. Even 500 calories, that's very minimal. You could easily get another 500 calories in your diet. So it's not very hard. So my point is, how the hell do you know when you're above maintenance or exactly 300 calories above maintenance when, one, it is very hard to find your true caloric maintenance. You can only get an estimate, and while it is accurate to some extent, you're not going to be full-on laser-like accurate. And two, you aren't taking into account daily movements. I could literally walk to the shops and back, and that will throw out the entire 300 calorie surplus bulk in the bin, let alone going to the gym or intentionally working out. There's also the concept of NEAT, N-E-A-T, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is all movement that is not deliberate exercise but still burns calories. So the fidgeting, the pacing, the playing with kids, and NEAT actually burns way more calories than you expect. You could literally burn, and hear me out, 1,000 more calories a day from not deliberately exercising but incorporating NEAT, N-E-A-T, into your daily lifestyle. This isn't bro science, this is actually real science backed up by studies, and I'll put a link to a video of Dr. Andrew Huberman talking about this topic in a much better way than I can, if you're interested. When you're on a proper bulk, you will also perform way better at the gym. You'll be able to push more weight for longer amounts of time, which obviously results in more hypertrophy. You'll also be able to recover quicker by giving your body all the nutrients it needs from a nutritional standpoint. So that means do a clean bulk, don't do dirty bulk. I do not recommend a dirty bulk at all costs. Dirty bulking is just too bad for your health. That's just not worth it. So I don't think that maingaining is the best route. I think that going on a traditional bulk is the best way to optimize muscle building. The increased protein and calorie intake will cause increased signaling from growth factors like IGF-1, which basically make it easier for your body to grow and put your body into the optimal stage to grow, to mutate. Maingaining does not take this specifically into account, as well as the fact that this is not a perfect mathematical equation. You can't possibly know if your 300 calorie bulk is actually a 300 calorie bulk because you don't know your maintenance calories at that specific microscopic level of a 300 calorie bulk. But obviously you can estimate roughly what your maintenance calories are. There are all these external factors that dictate calories burnt, and a slight miscalculation can throw away your whole entire Maingaining bulk into the bin. Especially when you take into account non-exercise activity thermogenesis, NEAT, into account, which actually burns way more calories than expected. In fact, using NEAT is a very good tactic for weight loss. And on top of all of that, you're going to be performing way better in the gym. You're going to be recovering much quicker because of all the nutrients you're getting in from a clean, big bulk. So experiment with a traditional bulk. Experiment with the different severities of bigger bulks, smaller bulks, and see what your body responds best to. I hope you learned a lot, and I'll see you next time.